So I got a U.S. history book here. It's prepping for the advanced placement exam. I do believe it's a high school book. And it is on page 102. We got the first 10 amendments. I'm going to go ahead and start reading from the top. In 1789, the first Congress elected under the Constitution acted quickly to adopt a number of amendments listing people's rights, drafted largely by James Madison. The amendments were submitted to the states for ratification. The 10 that were adopted in 1791 have been known ever since as the U.S. Bill of Rights. Together, they provide the guarantees that the Anti-Federalists wanted against the possible abuses of power by the central. Now we got quotations, or federal. So, and we'll get back to that. Or federal government. In quotations, federal. Now, what I have here is the oath of office that everybody takes, all military members, servicemen, congressmen, sailors, and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. The oath of office. An individual, comma, except the president, comma, elected or appointed to an office of honor or profit in civil service or uniformed service, comma, civil service or uniformed service, shall take the following oath. I do solemnly swear, quotations, not quotations, parentheses. I'm sorry, I said quotations earlier. I meant parentheses. That's what I meant. I want to correct myself. When earlier I stated federal was in quotations, it's parentheses. Parentheses. I do solemnly swear, parentheses, or affirm, in parentheses. So, what does this mean? So, the parentheses, what I'm taking, it means that you affirm. By writing things in parentheses, that means you affirm something. Just like I would interpret affirmation via a tattoo, a gang tattoo. I would make the same affirmation with the parentheses. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will take this obligation freely, without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Alright, so now as I'm reading to you this, now we have the parentheses. Now we know that the parentheses are there. Now so so let's read the First Amendment. First Amendment. Congress may make no laws that infringe a citizen's right to freedom of religion, comma, freedom of religion, comma, speech, comma, press, comma, assembly, comma, and petition. Congress may not favor one religion over another. Parentheses, separation of church and state. So, in this high school book, it's affirming that there's a separation of church and state. Now, let me go ahead and read to you the First Amendment from the U.S. the Constitution. Not this high school textbook. So the Constitution, First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, comma, shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. Not freedom of religion, the establishment of a religion. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Now that's where the freedom of religion is. This says it goes in to say you can't establish a religion, and then now they can't do not establish a religion. You can't prohibit people from practicing their religion. Or abridging the freedom of speech. or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble. Now in here they just have assembly. Nah, it's peacefully assemble. And to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now that is damn sure not in this First Amendment in this high school textbook. Let me reread it to you. Congress may make no laws that infringe a citizen's right to freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Congress may not favor one religion over another. Parentheses, separation of church and state. So there is no petition the government for redress of grievances. That's been totally left out. Now let's move on to the Second Amendment. Second Amendment. The people have the right to keep and bear arms in a state militia. A state militia. Now let's read to you from the Constitution. A well-regulated militia, comma. What's that saying is the well-regulated militia. The people have the right to a militia. Now, what is a militia? Militia is generally refers to an army or other fighting force that is composed of non-professional fighters, citizens of nations or subjects of a state or government that can be called upon to enter combat situations, as opposed to a professional force of regular soldier or historically members of the fighting nobility. Some of the ways the term is included. Nah, who cares about what the rest of that stuff is? But here's another definition. A militia is a body of citizens enrolled for military service. And now they're getting back to the oath of office, that all uniformed services are enrolled. So the militia is part of the uniformed services in this oath of office. A militia is a body of citizens enrolled for military service and called out periodically for a drill, but not serving full time, only in emergencies. So they only serve part time. It's not their full time job. That's not what they do all the time. They're just they may or may not have another job or whatnot. They're not a regular soldier who's enlisted that always is that's always enrolled in the army services, army or whatever uniform services. It's a common man army. It's a common man army of citizens, not soldiers. Citizens, not soldiers. Militia is not citizens. Militia is not soldiers. They're citizens, and they really should be capital C citizens, the sovereign citizens. But as we're not sovereign right now. The citizens are called upon in emergencies to protect the free state. The Second Amendment says that the militia is necessary to protect the free state, so in order to be able to have a militia. The citizens have a natural right to keep and bear arms, and the government cannot infringe. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So the Second Amendment says that you have a right to... let me go back to finish reading the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia, who are citizens, not soldiers, citizens, being necessary to the security of a free state, So the militia, which are citizens, being necessary to the security of a free state, being that in times of emergencies, the citizens can secure their state via self-protection, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. So the right of the people, being necessary, so in order to ensure a free state, the right of the people have a right. The citizens have a right to join to form a militia, and because they have the right to do that, they have the right to keep and bear arms. Let me go ahead and read to you from here. The Second Amendment says the militia is necessary to protect the free state. So in order to be able to have a militia, so you have the militia clause written into the Second Amendment. So in order to have the militia, the citizens have a natural right to keep and bear arms, and the government cannot infringe on that right. Now I want to talk to you about soldiers that are on military bases with no weapons. The only people on the base that have a weapon is the MPs. What's up with that? The MPs are basically cops, and to my knowledge, the soldiers just walk around with no gun. They have to check in their gun all the time. And you look at the Fort Hood shooting. People were in there shooting, spraying all over the place, and there was no the soldiers didn't have a gun to defend themselves. Now I could maybe understand if you ask them to check in their rifle, but they should be allowed to at least carry a sidearm. I mean, that should be a soldier. Come on now, like they live and breathe with their rifle. I mean, shit. I don't know the rifle champ, but your rifle is your life. If you don't have your rifle, you die, especially in battle. I mean, I was never a soldier. I never served in the military, never served in the services, but I know that they have some chants and stuff, and you're taught as a soldier that your rifle is your life, especially in the battlefield. It's your life. So our soldiers need to be armed on their military bases. So yeah, let me get back to this high school textbook. So the textbook, Second Amendment reads, the people have a right to keep and bear arms in a state militia. That doesn't even sound like what I just spoke about. The way this Second Amendment is written, I can interpret it meaning that only the people in the state militia have the right to keep and bear arms. So, I mean, this high school textbook is fucking bullshit. Third Amendment.